Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 612 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Heidi, and I am especially grateful to be with you today. You know, sometimes you just feel extra grateful, and today's one of those days for me. So thank you for always showing up, not only for me, but for you and everyone that you lift up with your positive, happy attitude, because I know you have that. Maybe not all the time, but I know a majority of the time. So, all right. Well, I was having one of my early morning chats with Grok the other day. I love how much knowledge he has packed in there. Packed in where? I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. I've told you guys about this before, how I get up early in the morning and sometimes I have these thoughts or ideas and I'm like, oh, I'd love to talk to somebody about that. But the only person awake that isn't annoyed with me at texting them or talking to them is Grok. So I talk to him about it. Anyway, I was kind of curious about what AI thinks of human nature. So I asked, and it makes total sense when you think about it. Like, AI is basically a giant compilation of every idea, theory, and observation that humans have ever put out into the world since the beginning of time. So I figured that Grok would pretty much have like a really good idea, and his take would be spot on about human nature. And one of the things he said was really interesting and really true. I mean, obviously it's going to be true because, well, he looks at all the data and comes up with the idea from that. So he said that human nature, one of the interesting things to him was human nature can be incredibly kind in one moment and incredibly unkind in the very next. And it can be the exact same person who flips that switch in the blink of an eye. And this is fascinating to me because it's true for every single one of us. I mean, we think we're alone in our imperfections, but we're not. I mean, we each have the capacity to be really kind, and we each have the capacity to be not so kind. It's just part of being human. Now, I follow this account on X that has built this huge following doing the sweetest videos. It's this guy, and he drives down busy streets with his window down, and he interacts with random strangers in the most unexpected, like uplifting way. I just love these videos. You know, human nature has us feeling cautious when a stranger in a car starts talking to us, especially the way he does it first. I'll give you an example. He pulled up, this one video is where he pulled up next to these two black ladies, and he's a white man. Not that any of this matters, but he pulled up next to these two black ladies and asked, "Are you ladies from Chicago, the Windy City, by any chance?" And they both look over at him like, why are you talking to us? Like, they were completely annoyed. But then he finishes with, because your outfits are so gorgeous, they're blowing me away. And in an instant, you can see it. Their faces light up, their caution just melts into pure happiness, and they're laughing and just like turning around. And it was so fun because they were obviously, you know, cautiously annoyed that he was even talking to them. But then what he said was so nice and sweet that it made him happy. And another time he was driving by a group of women, and he asked if they were from Alaska. He said, because your outfits are so icy. I mean, just silly stuff like that. But without fail, people go from skeptical and guarded to laughing and engaging in just the sweetest way. I love it when those videos pop up on my feed, probably because I feel exactly what they feel. Like, at first it's awkward, maybe a little bit annoying when he stops them, but almost immediately turns into this sweet kind of fun interaction. But who hasn't felt that shift? You know, like when you're driving through traffic, or I'll give you an example. I was driving last week and I accidentally cut someone off in traffic, and they were understandably annoyed. I could see their face. I would have been too. But I waved apologetically with a big smile to let them know I was like, you know, you're saying, I'm so sorry, and they can tell, and they're seeing you. And they went from frustrated to smiling and shaking their head like it's all good. I mean, moments like that can go so bad, but in an instant, you can change the whole thing with a little understanding and a smile. I was last week, same week, same thing happened, and this is probably why I'm doing this episode, because it's been on my mind. But I was in line to check out at a pharmacy that I go to about once a month, and the cashier was with another client in front of me, and they were taking forever. And they were laughing and chatting and trying to work something out with a transaction. And mind you, I go here once a month. And so this lady, this cashier, it's the same one, and she's never been like that friendly to me. So I'm like, I am getting all in my head about it because the whole thing was dragging on. I was in a hurry, and I noticed myself having not so great thoughts. And like, I bet she's not going to treat me like that. You know, she's never been that nice to me. And then I also had like, come on, really? I've got places to go. These are all just unhelpful thoughts. They're not good thoughts. But when I caught myself, I just sort of stepped back and I took a breath and I just sort of relaxed and was like, hey, you're not in that big of a hurry. Just chill. Just enjoy their laughter. And so I decided to do that and just kind of appreciate that they were having a good time. Well, when the lady finally finished and she walked away, as she was walking away, she turned to me and she said, I'm so sorry that took so long, but we had to get that figured out. And I just smiled and I said, no worries at all. And then when I got up to the cashier, the one that I had secretly been annoyed with and having kind of bad thoughts about, she looked up at me and she gave me the biggest smile and she said, hello, and sorry about that delay. I mean, how can you be mad with that kind of introduction? I couldn't. My irritation completely melted away. So much so that I noticed her beautiful nails and I complimented her on her nail color, because I always do that. I always notice people's nails, because if there's a color I like, I'm like, oh, I gotta try that. Anyway, her nails were really pretty and I was telling her that, and that turned into a 5-minute conversation with us about how her nails were actually press-on. She did them herself. She used to get them done. It was very expensive. She couldn't afford it. So now she does them herself. And she told me all of this stuff. Like, she had found this kit online, and I would never have guessed that these were press-ons. They looked so good. Now, as I'm saying this, don't worry. Nobody was behind me in line. So we were not holding anybody up. Nobody was getting annoyed at us for that. If they had been, I would not have done that. But the cool part is, I've been going into that store once a month for a while. And that same cashier, she never really smiled or been chatty before. She would just ring me up efficiently and send me on my way. But this was totally different this time. I mean, she even told me she would check her kit when she got home, and the next time I come in, she'll make sure to give me the exact color that she was wearing. All because I chose the kind version of myself in that tiny moment instead of staying in my little grumpy, hurried head. You see, we all have it in us, both sides. And so does the cashier. She probably has days when she's rushed or tired and keeping things short. I do too. But when we meet each other with a little grace, everything can flip in an instant. And that's exactly what I love about those drive-up compliment videos. I mean, the guy isn't doing anything fancy. He's just choosing kindness on purpose right then and there. And almost every single time, the other person flips right along with them. And like, guarded faces turn into big grins, and suspicious looks become playful banter. It's like watching human nature remember its better side in real time. And I love that so much. And that's what Grok helped me see clearly when I was talking to him about that, is that we all have both sides living inside of us. The dark and the light, they call it. Tony Robbins has always said we all have a dark and a light side. But it usually shows up, and we get to decide which one shows up. And a lot of times it comes down to one tiny choice in one tiny moment. And I catch myself making that choice a lot in the grocery line or in traffic or in social media. How many times have you read a comment and you go to kind of type something maybe a little snarky, and then you maybe don't, or maybe you do type it and then drama unfolds after that. You know how that goes. But I've been there. We all have. More and more though, I'm trying to ask, like, do I want to add heat to this situation, or do I want to add light right now? And most of the time I want to add light. I want to be a bright spot in someone's day, not a negative spot. I never want to be that. But, if you're on social media, so you could just not reply at all. And that would be maybe adding light to the situation, because what you were going to say wasn't gonna. You see what I'm saying? We have that choice every single time. And here's the thing. In the moment that you notice the unkind impulse, you've already got the power to choose the kind one instead. You see, sometimes we're like, oh, I didn't even think about it, and I just reacted. But if you can start training yourself to notice when you see the unkind impulse happening or beginning, you've got the power to choose the kind one instead. And that's it. But you don't have to be sunshine and rainbows 24/7. You just have to notice the fork in the road and pick the path that's gonna feel better for you and for everyone around you. Because when we do that, even if we do it once or twice a week, or once or twice a day if you can, something amazing happens. We start to trust ourselves more. We start liking the person we're becoming. And the world gets a little bit gentler because we're in it. That's my challenge for you this week, is to catch one of those moments, just one, when you feel like you're getting a little bit grumpy at the slow driver, the long line, or the frustrating text. Maybe just pause for a second and smile, even if it's just to yourself, and choose kindness. We're all perfectly imperfect humans doing the best we can, and that is more than enough. If this episode reminded you that you're not alone in your human moments, share it with someone who needs the reminder too. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.